I pushed the door open, expecting to see Elena waiting for me with her usual smile. Instead, my steps froze, my breath caught in my chest. Her laugh rang in the air, soft, intimate. But it wasn't for me. She was curled up against another man, her hand resting on his chest like it belonged there. His lips brushed her ear. "Elena?" My voice cracked, weak, almost unrecognizable. She turned, eyes widening for a second before her expression hardened. "You're home early." My gaze darted to him. Victor. I knew his face from whispers, wealth, power, arrogance dripping from his reputation. And now, his arm wrapped around a woman I loved. What is this? I stepped closer, my hands shaking. "Tell me it's not what it looks like." Victor smirked, unbothered. "It's exactly what it looks like." "Elena?" My voice pleaded with her, begged her to deny it, to say this was a mistake. She pulled away from him, but not toward me. "I can't keep pretending anymore. I'm tired of living small. I'm tired of you." Her words pierced through me like shards of glass. "Tired, of me? You're kind, but kindness doesn't pay bills. You work long hours and come home with nothing to show for it. I want more out of life." She folded her arms, her chin raised in defiance. "Victor can give me that." I stared at her, my chest hollow. "Everything I did was for us. I thought we were building something together." She scoffed. "Building what? A future stuck in mediocrity? I can't waste my youth waiting for you to become someone you'll never be." Victor leaned back casually, smirking as if the scene amused him. "She deserves better. You should thank me for showing her what real life looks like." I clenched my fists, heat rising in my veins. "Shut up." "Or what?" He chuckled, his arms sliding possessively around Elena again. I looked at her, my voice breaking. "Do you even love me anymore?" Her silence screamed louder than any words. "Elena, answer me." Finally, she exhaled. "No. I don't." My knees almost buckled. I grabbed the wall to steady myself. "After everything we've been through, after all the nights we dreamed together, you just throw it all away." Her eyes flickered with something, hesitation, maybe guilt, but she quickly buried it. "Dreams don't fill stomachs. Victor gives me security. That's what I need." Victor smirked, brushing her hair back like he owned her. "She made the right choice. You should move on." I took a shaky step back, my throat tight. "You think this is love? You think money makes it real? He'll break you, Elena. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, you'll see him for who he really is." She laughed bitterly. "And what about you? A man who can't give me anything but empty promises. Don't lecture me." Her words sliced deeper than any blade. I felt my chest cave in, each breath heavier than the last. "Elena. I gave you everything I had. My time. My heart. My soul. And it wasn't enough." She turned away from me, resting her head against Victor's shoulder like she'd already erased me from her life. The room spun around me. My heart screamed, but my voice came out as a whisper. "I loved you." She didn't look back. Victor stood, towering, his hand on her waist. "Get out. You don't belong here anymore." I wanted to fight. I wanted to scream. But my body felt numb, paralyzed. My chest tightened until I couldn't breathe. My hands dropped helplessly to my sides. "Elena," I whispered one last time, praying for her to stop me, to tell me this wasn't real. But she stayed silent. I turned and walked out, each step heavier than the last. The door slammed behind me, echoing like a final nail in a coffin. Outside, rain poured from the sky, drenching me instantly. I staggered into the street, the cold cutting through my skin, but nothing compared to the storm inside me. I tilted my head up, water streaming down my face, mixing with the tears I refused to acknowledge. My chest heaved, the betrayal clawing at me, suffocating me. Everything I believed in, love, trust, loyalty, died in that room. I whispered into the night, my voice breaking. Why wasn't I enough? No answer came. Just the rain, just the echo of Elena's laughter still burning in my ears. That night, something inside me shattered beyond repair. That night, the man I was died, and in his place, something darker began to rise. I lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling. The shadows on the wall looked like cracks running through my life. My phone buzzed again, and I didn't move. The door creaked open. "You're still in bed." Daniel's voice carried frustration and worry. "Leave me alone," I muttered. He walked in anyway, dropping a bag of food on the table. 3 days. You haven't eaten a thing I brought. What the hell are you doing to yourself? I'm fine. My throat felt dry. Fine. He scoffed. You look like a ghost. Get up. I turned my head toward him. What's the point, Daniel? She chose him. That's it. End of story. He sat down beside me. No, not end of story. People make choices. But your whole life isn't over because she's gone. She was my life. My voice cracked. Daniel leaned forward, his eyes sharp. No, she wasn't. She was part of it. And she ripped herself out. Now you decide what's left. I closed my eyes, but her voice echoed in my head. You weren't enough. I whispered, I see them everywhere. Photos, posts, her smile next to him. She looks happy, Daniel. Happier than she ever was with me. He clenched his jaw. Pictures lie. You know that. Do they? Or was I just the fool who couldn't give her what she wanted? Daniel slammed his hand on the table. Stop. Don't do this to yourself. You gave her everything. And it wasn't enough, I shot back, sitting up, my chest burning. Silence stretched between us, heavy and sharp. He finally said, softer, she didn't leave because you weren't enough. She left because she wanted something else. That's on her, not you. I shook my head. Then why does it feel like I'm the one who failed? Daniel leaned back, rubbing his face. Because you loved her. And when love breaks, it feels like you broke too. But you're still here. You hear me? You're still here. I laughed bitterly. Still here. For what? To watch her laugh in his arms. He stared at me for a long moment, then said, no. To prove to yourself that she was wrong. His words hung in the air, a challenge I wasn't ready to accept. I fell back against the pillow. I don't have the strength. You will, Daniel said firmly. Because I'm not letting you rot in this room. Tomorrow, you're getting up. Even if I have to drag you out myself. I looked at him, exhausted. Why do you even care this much? Because you're my brother. And I refuse to watch you destroy yourself over someone who didn't deserve you. For the first time in days, something inside me stirred. Small, fragile, but real. I whispered, what if I never get over her? Daniel sighed. Then you carry the scar. But scars mean survival. Not weakness. I stared at the ceiling again, his words pressing against the emptiness in my chest. Elena's laughter still echoed, but faintly now, like it came from another world. I said quietly, maybe one day, I'll make her regret it. Daniel gave me a sharp look. Don't focus on her. Focus on you. But my heart tightened, and I whispered more to myself than to him, she will regret it. I'll make sure of it. He shook his head, but he didn't argue. He just stood, pulling the curtains open. Light flooded the room, stabbing at my eyes. Tomorrow, he repeated. You're getting up. End of discussion. When the door closed behind him, I lay in silence. My chest still ached, but beneath the grief, something else flickered. A spark. I clenched my fists. The pain was still there, heavy and sharp, but under it, I felt something growing, anger. And that ember whispered that I wasn't done. Not yet. Daniel wasn't wrong. I couldn't rot in that room forever. So I dragged myself back to work, though each morning felt like lifting stones strapped to my chest. The first day back, I walked into the office and caught whispers. Did you see her new pictures? One coworker muttered. With Victor? Damn, he's loaded, another replied. I gritted my teeth, slamming my bag onto my desk. Got something to say about me? They froze. Silence. I stared them down until they looked away. At my desk, Daniel's words echoed, prove her wrong. Fine. If all I had left was rage, I'd use it. I buried myself in work. Hours bled into nights, and I refused to stop until my body screamed. One evening, as I pounded the keyboard, a soft voice broke the silence. You're still here. I looked up. Sophia stood by my desk, holding files to her chest. Yeah. Why? I snapped sharper than I meant. She didn't flinch. Because everyone else left 3 hours ago. And you look like you haven't eaten in days. I leaned back, exhaling. I'm fine. Her eyebrow arched. You don't look fine. You look like someone's chasing demons. Maybe I am. She set the files down, pulling up a chair. Then at least let someone sit with you while you fight them. I stared at her, unsure how to respond. No one had said that to me before. Finally, I muttered, you don't have to babysit me. Good thing I'm not, she said calmly. I'm just here. That's all. For a moment, the tightness in my chest eased. The days turned into weeks. I attacked work with everything in me. Deadlines. Crushed. Presentations. Flawless. My name started circling in meetings. I heard whispers now, but different ones. He's on fire lately. Guy's unstoppable. Each word was gasoline on the blaze inside me. After work, I took the fury to the gym. Every rep, every drop of sweat felt like carving away the weakness Elena left behind. I pushed until my arms trembled, until my lungs screamed for mercy. One night, after collapsing onto the bench, Sophia appeared again. You're going to kill yourself at this pace. Good, I muttered. That means I'm doing it right. She frowned. That's not strength. That's punishment. I wiped sweat from my brow, staring at my reflection in the mirror. Maybe punishment is what I deserve. She stepped closer, her voice steady. Or maybe it's what you think will make you forget her. But pain doesn't erase pain. You know that, right? I met her gaze, my chest rising hard. What else am I supposed to do? Sit at home and cry? No, she said softly. Live. Not survive. Live. Her words lingered in my head long after she left. At the office the next day, I overheard more chatter. Elena and Victor bought a new car. She's glowing. Did you see the necklace he got her? My hands clenched around the pen. Glowing? That glow should have been mine to give her. Instead, she wore his money around her neck. That night, I pushed myself harder than ever in the gym. Daniel called. Where are you? Gym. Again. Always. You're gonna burn out. Then let me burn. I hung up before he could answer. Every night, Sophia found me there. She didn't lecture me anymore. She just stayed, sometimes sitting nearby with her book, sometimes handing me water when I nearly collapsed. One evening, as I racked the weights, I asked, "Why do you keep showing up?" She looked surprised, then smiled faintly. "Because I see someone trying to rebuild himself. And I think you'll succeed. But only if you don't tear yourself apart first." Her words hit deeper than I expected. I exhaled. Rebuild, huh? Maybe I'm not rebuilding. Maybe I'm sharpening. Turning into something she can't ignore. Sophia studied me, quiet for a moment. And what if she never looks back? What then? I froze. The thought cut deeper than any rep or workout. Then I'll make sure the world looks. And she'll hear their voices when they speak my name. Sophia nodded slowly. Just promise me something. What? That you won't lose yourself while trying to prove something to her. I didn't answer. Because deep down, I wasn't sure I had anything left to lose. But as I walked home that night, drenched in sweat and exhaustion, I felt the ember inside me harden into something else. Not just survival. Not just anger. A vow. I would rise so high, so far, that when Elena looked up, regret would be the only thing left in her eyes. Rumors started trickling through the office before I ever saw them with my own eyes. "Did you hear about Victor's deal in Dubai?" someone whispered near the break room. "Collapsed. Lost millions." "Really? But he acts like he owns the whole city." "Not anymore. Investors are furious." I pretended not to listen, but inside, my pulse quickened. Later, Daniel nudged me during lunch. "You hear? Victor's not the golden boy everyone thought he was." I leaned back, feigning indifference. "People exaggerate." Daniel smirked. "Exaggerate or not, cracks are showing. You can't tell me you don't enjoy it." I didn't answer. But I didn't deny it either. At night, I scrolled past Elena's photos, her flawless smile beside Victor, champagne in her hand. Yet when I looked closer, I noticed something. The smile didn't reach her eyes. I stared at the screen. "Hollow," I whispered to myself. "Like she's pretending." For weeks, I kept grinding, long hours, gym sessions, pushing myself harder. Each success felt sharper now. Promotions whispered my name. Clients wanted me directly. The tide was shifting, and I could feel it. Then came the invitation. A corporate gala, hosted at one of the city's most extravagant hotels. Everyone who was anyone would be there. Daniel caught me reading it. "You're going, right?" I wasn't planning on it. He shook his head. "No, you're going. You've been killing yourself for this moment. Walk in there, let them all see what you've become." I hesitated. "And if she's there?" His eyes narrowed. "Then let her choke on it." I exhaled slowly, a fire stirring in my chest. "Fine. I'll go." The night of the gala, I stood before the mirror in a tailored black suit. My reflection almost startled me. Gone was the broken man Elena left in the rain. The man staring back at me was sharper, harder. At the event, chandeliers glittered above and cameras flashed as I entered. For the first time, I felt every eye turned toward me, not as background noise, but as recognition. "Is that him?" I heard someone whisper. "He's the rising star at our firm. Looks like he belongs on that stage." I moved through the crowd with calm precision, shaking hands, exchanging pleasantries. And then I saw her. Elena stood near the center, wearing a silver dress that shimmered under the lights. Victor had his arm around her, but his smile was strained, tight. She laughed, but it was sharp, brittle, and for a split second, her eyes flicked to me. The glass in her hand trembled. I met her gaze head-on. Her lips curved into a practiced smile, but it faltered almost instantly. The room buzzed around us, but in that moment, silence swallowed everything. I didn't move toward her. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. Because in her eyes, I saw it, the flicker of regret. The silent question. What if I'd stayed? What if I hadn't left? Victor leaned closer to her, whispering something, but she barely reacted. Her attention was on me, no matter how hard she tried to mask it. Daniel appeared at my side, smirking. She saw you. I know. And? I adjusted my cufflinks, keeping my voice low. She blinked first. Daniel chuckled. That's all it takes. Throughout the night, I didn't approach her once. I laughed with colleagues, made connections, let the cameras capture me standing tall. Every time I caught her glance, her mask slipped just a little more. By the end of the evening, I was certain of one thing. My silence was louder than any words I could have spoken. As I left the gala, the cool night air brushed against my face. I inhaled deeply, my chest steady. The cracks in her perfect world had begun to show. And it was only the beginning. The conference room emptied one body at a time, heels clicking against the polished floor, briefcases snapping shut. I gathered my notes, keeping my gaze low, until I felt her presence near the door. Elena. She didn't say my name the way she used to. Her voice trembled as she stepped closer, her perfume lingering like a ghost I thought I'd buried. You've changed, she whispered. I looked up slowly, meeting her eyes. Calm. Cold. So have you. Only difference is, I didn't trade my soul to do it. She flinched, but recovered with a brittle laugh. You make it sound so dramatic. Dramatic? I leaned back against the table, folding my arms. The night you walked away, you don't get to rewrite that. Her lips parted, but the mask slipped. I caught it in her eyes, regret, jealousy, fear. You think I don't notice? I said quietly. Every time you see me, you're calculating. Comparing. Wondering what you threw away. That's not true, she muttered. It is, I shot back. And you know it. Her hands fidgeted with the strap of her bag. I just wanted to talk. We used to be, something. I tilted my head, studying her. We were everything. Until you sold me for something shinier. Her breath hitched. She tried to laugh again, but it cracked in the middle. You're cruel now. That's what changed. No, I said, my voice steady. I just stopped begging for scraps. Silence stretched between us. For the first time, I saw her mask fully crumble. Not in front of a crowd. Not in a photo. Here, just her and me. And it was almost satisfying enough to burn. She reached out slightly, as if to touch my arm, then thought better of it. Victor's been stressed. Business hasn't been easy. I smirked. That's what happens when you build castles on sand. Her eyes narrowed. You think you're better than him now? I don't have to think it. I leaned in, lowering my voice. You see it every time you look at me. Her throat worked as she swallowed, then she grabbed her bag and turned sharply. You've become someone I don't recognize. I let the words hang, then replied, good. The door shut behind her. Minutes later, Daniel appeared, tossing his folder on the table. I saw her leave. She looked like she'd been punched. She started it, I muttered. He studied me. And you enjoyed finishing it. I didn't answer. Daniel sighed, pulling out a chair. Listen, you're walking a fine line here. She'll try again. That woman doesn't know how to lose. She already lost, I said flatly. No, he shook his head. Not until you let her go. Otherwise, you're still playing her game. I clenched my fists on the table. She'll only break me again. Is that what you're saying? Exactly. His voice hardened. Don't give her another chance. She'll twist your strength into weakness the second you let her in. I looked away, my jaw tight. Daniel leaned forward. You've built yourself up. Don't throw it all away just to scratch at an old wound. His words landed heavy, but the truth pulsed inside me, louder than his warning. I wanted her to hurt. I wanted her to feel the same knife she drove into me, the same betrayal, the same hollow nights. I turned to Daniel, my voice low but steady. She thinks she can haunt me. No. This time, I'll be the one haunting her. Daniel shook his head, muttering under his breath, revenge will eat you alive. Maybe, I whispered. But so did love. For the rest of the day, I buried myself in work, but Elena's face lingered in every shadow. Her trembling voice, her faltering eyes, her cracked laughter, it all replayed like a melody of ruin. And instead of breaking me, it fueled me. By evening, I stood at my window overlooking the city, lights glowing like embers in the dark. My reflection stared back, calm, sharpened, relentless. I'll make her feel it, I said to myself. Every ounce of it. And I promised I wouldn't stop until she did. Rumors grew louder every week. Victor's deal in Shanghai collapsed. He owes investors millions. His partners are pulling out. I heard them in boardrooms, hallways, whispered at bars after hours. Each word was like music. One afternoon, Daniel slid into the seat across from me at lunch, grinning. Guess who defaulted on a loan the size of a skyscraper? I raised an eyebrow. Victor. He chuckled. Bingo. The great king of glass towers has cracks in every wall. I stirred my coffee slowly. Didn't take long, did it? Daniel leaned closer. Funny thing is, you didn't even have to do anything. I smirked faintly. That's the point. Karma doesn't need my help. At night, I scrolled through Elena's social media. Once, her posts glowed with luxury, private jets, designer gowns, champagne toasts. But now, the dresses were simpler, the captions shorter. Her smile, forced, tight. I zoomed in on one picture. Her eyes betrayed her. No sparkle, no joy. Just exhaustion hiding behind makeup. Sophia caught me staring at my phone one late evening at the office. Still watching her, she asked gently. I locked the screen. Old habits. She folded her arms. You know, you don't need her ruin to prove your worth. You're already building something real. I sighed. I know. But watching her world collapse, it feels like balance being restored. Sophia studied me. And if balance turns into obsession? I didn't answer. Weeks passed, and the whispers grew darker. Victor fired half his staff. He sold one of his penthouses. Banks are circling like vultures. Every time I heard a new piece, I felt a quiet thrill. Not joy exactly, but a deep satisfaction. One night, my phone buzzed. I glanced down and froze. It was her. Elena, how have you been? Just 6 words. I stared at the screen, my chest tight. My thumb hovered, then lowered. I typed nothing. Instead, I pressed delete. Sophia noticed my silence later, when I sat at my desk long after hours. You okay? She messaged me, I said finally. Sophia raised an eyebrow. And? I deleted it. Her lips curved slightly. Good. I leaned back, exhaling. Part of me wanted to reply. Just to see her squirm. To remind her of what she threw away. Or, Sophia said firmly, to let her back into your head. You've come too far for that. I rubbed my temples. She should feel what I felt. Sophia placed a hand on my arm. She already does. Look around her life. It's falling apart. You don't need to twist the knife, it's twisting itself. Her words sat heavy in the air. For once, I didn't argue. The next week, I attended a corporate dinner. The atmosphere buzzed with tension, not celebration. Victor's losses are catastrophic, one executive whispered. He's liquidating assets, another added. Can't keep up the image anymore. I didn't comment. I didn't need to. Later that evening, Daniel clinked his glass against mine. You're sitting at the table he used to own. How's it feel? I met his grin with a calm smile. Like gravity shifted. And Elena? He asked. I thought of her last photo, a black dress that wasn't designer, a smile that cracked at the edges. She's falling with him. Daniel nodded. Then you've already won. Walking home that night, I replayed Sophia's voice in my head, you don't need her ruin to prove your worth. But deep down, I couldn't lie to myself. Watching her stumble, watching him crumble, it was a fire in my veins. For the first time since that night in the rain, I felt the balance tilt. I was rising. She was falling. And I wasn't done watching. The knock came past midnight. Relentless. Desperate. I opened the door and froze. Elena? She stood in the rain, hair plastered to her face, mascara streaking black down her cheeks. Her dress clung to her like it had drowned with her. Please, she whispered. Let me in. I stepped aside silently. She stumbled past me, dripping onto the floor. Her voice shook. He's gone. Victor, he left me. For someone else. I closed the door, leaning against it, watching her collapse onto my couch. Elena, I said evenly, you shouldn't be here. Her eyes snapped to mine, wide, frantic. Don't say that. Please don't push me away. I crossed my arms. Funny. That's exactly what you did to me. Her lips trembled. I was stupid. Blind. I thought her voice cracked. But he tossed me aside like trash. I swallowed hard, old memories clawing at me, her laughter in my arms, the night she chose him. She reached for my hand. I know I don't deserve this. But I can't breathe without you. I can't, her voice broke into sobs. I pulled my hand back slowly. You're only here because he's gone. No, she shook her head fiercely, water flying from her hair. I'm here because I was wrong. Because I see you now. The way you stood there, silent, unshaken. I couldn't stop thinking about it. You've changed. You're stronger. And her breath hitched. I need you. I stared at her, heart twisting with something between longing and fury. You need me? I said quietly. Or you need someone to fix the hole he left. Her mascara-stained face crumpled. Does it matter? I'm begging you. Her words slammed into me. Begging. The same woman who once tossed me aside now knelt in ruins before me. Elena, I murmured, you shattered me. You watched me bleed and walked away. I know, she cried. I know I destroyed you. And I'd undo it all if I could. But please, don't let me drown like this. I forced myself to stay standing, to not crumble with her. Part of me wanted to pull her close, to erase every tear. Another part wanted her to suffocate in the emptiness she'd given me. I finally moved, sitting across from her, close enough for her to see the steadiness in my eyes. I'll let you stay tonight. Nothing more. Her shoulders shook with relief. Thank you, she whispered. The room was filled with her sobs, sharp and broken. I listened, my face calm, my heart a storm. She leaned forward. Say something. Tell me you still feel something for me. I looked at her long and hard. What I feel, I said slowly, isn't what you think. Her lips parted, hope trembling inside her tears. But there's something. I can see it in your eyes. I didn't deny it. I let her cling to the thread of belief, because her desperation was a mirror of my own past, and now it was hers to carry. As she wept, I sat still, every muscle controlled. Inside, I knew. I wasn't saving her. I was waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment to break her pride completely. The waiter led us to the table. Candlelight flickered, soft music drifted, and the air smelled faintly of wine and roses. The same place where she once whispered she loved me. Elena smiled at me, her eyes bright with fragile hope. "It feels like nothing's changed," she said softly. I leaned back in my chair. "Does it?" She laughed nervously. "Maybe I'm imagining it, but sitting here with you, it feels right again." "Right?" I tilted my glass. "Or familiar?" She bit her lip. "Don't push me away." "I'm trying." "Trying to what?" I asked. "To fix this," she whispered. "To fix us." I let her words hang between us, watching her cling to the illusion she had already won me back. "Do you remember what you told me here last time?" I asked. Her eyes softened. "Of course. I told you I loved you. That I wanted forever with you." I smiled faintly. "And forever lasted how long?" Her face paled. "I made a mistake." "Mistake?" I leaned forward, my voice calm, deliberate. "You didn't trip and fall into his arms. You chose him. You chose wealth, power, status. You chose to watch me break." Her hands trembled as she reached for mine across the table. "But I came back to you. Doesn't that mean something?" I didn't move. I let her fingers stretch across the white linen, just short of touching me. "It means," I said slowly, "that you came back when the empire crumbled, when the shine faded, when the man you left me for left you." Her breath hitched. "No, don't say it like that. I wanted you. I still want you." The waiter poured more wine. I didn't glance at him. My eyes never left hers. "Elena," I said, voice low but sharp, "this isn't love. This is karma." Her smile collapsed, her lips parting in shock. The words echoed through the restaurant, soft but deadly. Conversations around us faltered. She froze, every pair of eyes catching the tremor in her expression. "You don't mean that," she whispered. I stood, sliding my chair back with calm finality. "I do." "Please," she begged, her voice cracking as she clutched the tablecloth. "Don't walk away from me. Not here. Not now." I looked down at her, her face crumbling in front of strangers, her pride unraveling under the weight of my silence. "This is exactly where," I said quietly. And then I left. The night air hit me like release. For the first time in years, I breathed without chains on my chest. Later, Sophia called. Her voice carried warmth I hadn't felt in a long time. "You did it, didn't you?" she asked. "I ended it," I replied. There was a pause. "And? Do you feel better?" I leaned against the window, city lights glowing below. "I feel lighter. Like I've been carrying a corpse and finally set it down." Her voice softened. "Revenge doesn't heal. You know that." I closed my eyes. "I know. But I needed her to feel it. To drown in the same ruin she left me in." "And now?" she asked. I exhaled slowly. "Now. I can finally breathe." I stared into the mirror, the reflection unrecognizable. The hollow eyes, the fragile frame I once carried, gone. "I don't even know that man anymore," I murmured. Behind me, Sophia's voice was calm. "Good. That's the point. You outgrew him." I glanced at her in the reflection. "Do you really think I've changed that much?" Her lips curved into a soft smile. "You don't see it. You walk into a room, and people move. You speak, and they listen. That broken boy Elena left behind. He's dust. I ran a hand over my jaw, feeling the strength in my face. And Elena? She's dust too, Sophia said. A bitter laugh escaped me. She lost everything, Victor, the glamour, even her pride. She came crawling back thinking I'd save her. Sophia's gaze held steady. But you didn't. You saved yourself. I turned to face her fully. Was it really saving, though? Or just destroying her? Both, she admitted. But destroying her wasn't the real victory. Look at you. Stronger. Wiser. Untouchable. That's the win. I let her words sink in, a silence stretching between us. For the first time, it wasn't heavy, it was freeing. Do you know what hurts the most? I asked quietly. Sophia tilted her head. What? That I ever thought I needed her. That I let her define my worth. Every night I begged myself to be enough, and now, I exhaled, shaking my head. Now I realize she was the one who was never enough. Sophia stepped closer, her hand finding mine. Her warmth spread through me, grounding me. You found yourself in the fire, she whispered. That's what matters. I held her hand tighter. Then why does part of me still feel like I'm carrying her shadow? Because closure isn't about forgetting, she said softly. It's about choosing to walk away anyway. I stared into her eyes, the truth ringing louder than my doubts. Walk away. Yes, she said. Leave the ashes behind. Don't give them another breath. I looked back at the mirror. The man staring at me was no longer begging for scraps of love, no longer drowning in betrayal. He was forged from it. I whispered to the night once, I said, voice low, that she abandoned me. But now, I'd say it differently. Sophia squeezed my hand. Say it. I closed my eyes, letting the words rise from deep within. You abandoned me, Elena. But in the end, I took everything you had, your pride, your hold on me, your power. The words didn't burn. They healed. I opened my eyes, meeting my reflection one last time. And I don't need any of it anymore. Sophia leaned into me, her presence steady. So what now? I took a breath that felt like my first in years. Now, I walk forward. Finally free. She smiled, her eyes shining. Then let's go. Together, we stepped away from the mirror, away from the ghosts that had chained me. The night air waited outside, cool and endless. For the first time, I didn't look back.